Welcome, everybody. Happy Wednesday, June 12th at 7:05 p.m. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, Paula.
Jesus Christ, not another fucking podcast. So somebody actually, we got all these great comments from people. Over 500 people have viewed the first session we did. And this one woman comes on and she says, don't you think it's inappropriate to say Jesus Christ and fucking in the same sentence? And I said, obviously not. Obviously not. And it's funny, there's a brilliant social media personality. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. He's known as Gary V. And I was told if I go, he curses. And I just happen to love him for that. And right, hold on, I'm pinning you. Add pin. Okay, there we go. Now it's the two of us. Yay.
Oh, okay. I
This
see everybody in the group.
this woman said to him, don't you think it's inappropriate to curse? And he said, no. He said, my authenticity is, includes scatological language. And I thought, so does mine. Um, anyway, so
Well,
here we are.
from what I understand it, right, when we're channeling and we're bringing in all this information, in the beginning, they would use the terms vibratory sound complex. Vibratory sound complex means the words that you use, the complex of the sounds, the vibration that you use, and that's so. If there's no way, there's no cursing is made up. It's a whole human thing. All of these things are just what we as humans use to communicate. And then we decide those are good words, those are bad words, those are words that'll put you in Facebook jail. I mean, all that stuff. It's all creation. It's all made up nonsense. But
Really
and I have to be
cool.
honest, and Lynn, you know this. She told me about the name for the podcast a few weeks ago, and I was like, but whatever. It's you pick it. It's
No,
okay.
you paused, and what you said to me was, don't you think that's sacrilegious?
I don't
Those
know
were
if I
your
use the word
exact words.
sacrilegious. I would never use.
Oh, that's exactly the word you used.
No, I would no. That must have been somebody else. That was not me. So, but my wife
Excuse me.
loved it. I would never say
Excuse
sacrilegious. I don't believe in.
Ask Lori. Lori was in the car. Ask Lori. That was
So,
literally the phrase you used. Anyway,
I don't know. So then I told my sister, and my sister said, "I don't like that name." And then I told one of my brothers, no. But everybody else I spoke to loved the name. What happened to my picture?
was it Rory or Mary? Which sister didn't like it?
So I
Rose.
said, well,
Okay.
clearly we were brought up in a household where we weren't allowed to curse. My mother and father, they were very strict. So for us, that was our upbringing bleeding through into this, you know, into the name. But after that, I said, well, so many people like it. Clearly, I must be wrong. So,
Look, anybody who
everybody
knows
loved it.
me and is in my world
That's right.
knows that I use scatological language, and for me, it's part of my authenticity. Scatological language is any language that has to do with a bodily function that has a pejorative or negative connotation to it. So, speaking of negativity, the latest being that I am channeling is Lucifer.
Yes.
So, we are in the middle of doing a book club that is called Outwitting the Devil. And one of the things that Lucifer talks about in the book, and this is based on an interview that Napoleon Hill had with him back in 1938, is he said, I own 50% of all of the energy in this world. He said, 50% belongs to my opponent, which is how he refers to God. 50% belongs to me. I control the dark, he controls the light. You can't have one without the other. So I decided I needed to have a conversation with him. There was a story that I knew since I was really, really young, which was that God came to him and said, look, I'm going to create a race of beings. They're going to be given free will. They're going to be able to choose between the light and the dark. And I need you to go down. You're my most beautiful, my most trusted, my most beloved angel, who's for Morningstar. And I need you to go down and I need you to represent the darkness. And he said, we're going to have this big pretend fight. I'm going to kick you out of heaven. You're going to take a bunch of angels with you. They're going to be your companions, your demons. And You're going to go down and you're going to represent the darkness. And every once in a while, Lucifer's like, look, I've killed the game. It's 98% of humanity that I own. So, what he said in this channeling the other day, because our friend Willem Van Galen asked a question, and he said, Lucifer, is it true that you're actually an undercover agent for God and you're waiting for everyone to choose the light so that we all can go home? And Lucifer said, I'm going to plead the fifth, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. And but what he did say was, look, I've got 98% control of humanity, but as soon as it goes to 97 and 3% of humanity knows that the light has won, which is basically the phrase that Willem is using, which he's gotten from you. He said, what happens is we go from a dualistic society to the first point of triangulation. And what is the basic building block of all of creation? The triangle. That 3% shifts everything. So we're only working on 1%. We're not working to try and flip all of humanity because I think it's grassroots is as soon as you have 3% of any population, you can completely flip it. So I thought that that was great news. He's very funny. He's very charismatic. And I don't know, it's just been, Matanya refers to him as the angel of contrast, but he says humans are far worse than I ever imagined. He said, I'm not even as creative as they are, what they've done, the atrocities in my name. So it's good to know that there's an archangel, which is what Lucifer is. It's actually waiting for us all to say, okay, I choose the light over the darkness, to realize that the light has won, which you've been saying for years.
Well, I only say the light is one because that's what the messages coming in from spirit were saying. And probably, I guess that probably 4 or 5 years ago. And when I just entered into this realm with you and everyone else, and I kept hearing the term light worker, light worker, light worker. And it's okay. And then spirit came to me at one point and said, working connotates work. You're light bringers. You're there bringing light to humanity. You're not working on it. That just makes it sound
I
so
love that.
cumbersome,
Yeah,
So
no,
I
love
stopped
that.
using the term light worker, and very rarely does it appear in anything that I write when it referencing that, and it normally says light bringer. Just like the light one. I would say that all the time, and it was in my writings. And I guess spirit knows the groove you're in, and they enhance that. They continue to help you expand on what you're already in the middle of, so to speak. If it's, I
Yeah.
guess it's going in the right direction. Now, again, it's all speculation on my part, but based on how things have been going for me over the last 5 years, it kind of makes sense to me. If something works, we stick with it. I was introduced to a man named Tom. I can't think of his last name. He's an older man, and he's written several books. I think he lives in the Midwest, Milwaukee, maybe Wisconsin or something. And he talks about the most benevolent outcome and how we want for society the MBO, the most benevolent outcome, which means everybody gets something, but no one gets everything. So there's some fairness, some balance in it. And
Yeah.
Once I was turned on to that term MBO, for about a year, it was in so many of the messages that I brought through. And then I hadn't heard it for a while. And just recently, most benevolent outcome. Maybe it was in last week's message. I think it might have been in actually last Tuesday's message, last Wednesday's message that we shared. But I guess it doesn't wear out. Light worker, light bringer doesn't wear out. That's what we're at. That's
Yeah.
what we're here doing.
The thing that I have found really powerful and profound for myself is to not deny the darkness. The
Oh
more
yeah.
of my shadow, the more of my darkness that I'm willing to own and willing to feel and willing to explore and willing to forgive. And the deeper that I'm able to go, the more light I'm able to experience. Like, I don't know, the bigger the front, the bigger the back kind of thing. Hi, Deborah. Welcome, love. the more that we can make peace with our shadow, the more light we bring forth more light when we're not in denial of the shadow. And Matiku just made a comment, and he said that our darkness is our divinity. It is. It's as much our divinity as our light, because you literally can't have one without the other. It doesn't work that way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But and again, this whole darkness light thing is really just a construct of the game of of being human. On this earth plane, we came down, we said, okay, I want to incarnate, I want to be a human, I want to go from that angelic, energetic, high vibration, I want to lower my vibration, I want to come down to the earth, I want to touch things, I want to feel things, I want to smell things, I want to eat things, all the things that you can't do as an angel, right? Or as a higher being. And the light and dark is just one more component, in my opinion, of the human experience, the earthly experience, being human. I don't know. I don't know what is up on other planets, I can't remember.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Wendy is now channeling a being that is known as Mother Maya, and it's profound. Go find her channel and take a listen.
Okay.
Mother Maya said she came in with the last eclipse that happened in April, and she's here because things are way out of balance. And she's here to bring the balance back to the divine feminine. And it's like there's a ferocity to her, there's a strength to her, just to help bring the balance back to the light. Here's what she was explaining to us today, because we met with her. There's a group of us that meet, and we call ourselves the Kalu. And the Kalu were beings that came from Atlantis and helped to set up what were the Egyptian mystery schools and also the Essene community in preparation for Yeshua's coming, his return. And she was saying, you have to allow yourself to go to in your meditations or your imaginations or whatever, to go to other existences, not just human. Go to your Arcturian existences, go to other planets, go to your Pleiadian existences, go visit Arcturus via Sirius, go back to Lyra, get to know your other existences, get to know yourself. The human existence is this tiny 1%. She said there's so much more. Get to know who you are, be willing to look, be willing to do the work. So, here I am offering opportunities for people to go into their Akashic records where all the information is, all the lifetimes, everything's available, to teach people how to open up their spiritual gifts that they're given. Above polarity, dark versus light. It's not even like dark versus light, it's more like dark and light. It's the yin yang. You know how inside of the yin yang symbol there's light inside of the dark and dark inside of the light? You can't have one with the other. If all you have is light, that's it. It's just light. Now, in reading Outwitting the Devil, there's a version that I'm reading. There are 3 books that I found about it. There was the Sharon Lecter version, where Sharon comes in and she says, this is what they've basically permitted me to publish. And she's making commentary in between. Then there's a version that was the actual manuscript that he had written. And there's a conversation with Thomas Edison that was phenomenal. There was also him when he was driving and suddenly his higher self. Imagine if Selfie shows up in your passenger seat and has a full-on conversation with you. And he writes down everything, his higher self. And she manifested as a woman. And she talked about the future of humanity and what's to come. And she said, religions are dismantled, the government is dismantled, the churches are dismantled, people live in peace. An hour of one person's wage will feed their entire family. Money gets dismantled. I mean, it's just this beautiful kind of utopian civilization, almost like what people describe in heaven. So I'm excited to see what comes. By the way, do you have one of your channelings that you would like to bring to us?
Yes. Oh. Hold on just one sec. I just got a message. 2 people are looking to get on. So same link as last week.
Yep. www.somalife.com /Zoom. It's a public link.
Yeah.
It's where we do our morning meditations. We have this group that meets. We've been meeting for 3 years, 3.5 years now. And we're going to be meeting for at least another 2.5 to get through the book that we're going through. We're going through the book, A Course of Love, which is the sequel to A Course in Miracles.
SomaLife.com. All right, I'll send that out.
And then /Zoom.
Yeah, well, when you open the Zoma Life page, the Zoom header is right there. You can just click right on it.
It is?
Yeah, when you open your Soma Life page, it says Zoom Room is right there. There's a green banner.
Huh, I didn't know that. On my website?
Right there. For your Zoom
I learned
room.
something new. I learn something new every day.
Click on that. Let me double check.
I don't think that's true.
I did it before. Learn about Soma Life. Ooh, maybe I looked at last week's.
So for anyone who's listening,
I'm sorry.
if you ever want to attend, we have a gallery, and it's www.somalife.com / which is the slash that goes to the right, /Zoom, and it puts you right in here. It's so funny. We announced it, and then during the week at all these different hours, people from all over the world are checking out the Zoom link and coming into the room. It's pretty funny. So the being that I have been channeling most recently is Lady Nada. And Lady Nada is an aspect of Venus. She's an aspect of Mary Magdalene. She is this most extraordinary. She's one of the Chohans, one of the guardians of the rays. I believe she's the Chohan of the sixth ray. So we have these beings that are guardians. They're helping us through this grand experiment of what it is to be human. Are any of you familiar with her? Lady Nada? She's pretty cool. Rob, did we lose you?
No, I'm right here. I hear you. Do you not see me? I'm
We
just
cannot
trying to
see
get
you.
this proper link out to these people so they can join us.
All right.
And just
I know that
somalife.com/Zoom. That's it. That's the one.
right. I know that one of my assistants sent out an email reminding everybody. So Lady Nada's going to have a message for us later. I think I channel now 26 or 27 different. She's been coming into your awareness too. Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
Let's get back to you. I'm here. And where did my
You're
video?
off camera.
I jumped out. Oh yeah, some reason the camera jumped off too. Okay. Well, everybody here, Deborah, Paula, Tess, and Linda, you all know I do my best to get a message whenever I do, when we go on Zoom. And so today was no different. No, because Lynn and I we had done a series of podcasts back 3 years ago, I think. So this is kind of a reawakening of that with enhancements, right, Lynn? So
You're tech savvy now.
That's it. Now, for a while, like I have journals where I'll like I said last week, I'll leave the door open. I'll just say, "Dear Spirit, who has a message?" And I never know who will come in. And then a couple weeks ago when I started the later, I said, you know what? I'm going to be specific. I'm going to ask for specific energies to come in. Where'd my picture go?
You just went off camera again.
I know why, because of this USB cable and this new camera. And I just decided with this latest journal to always ask for someone specific each morning. And this morning I was like, I was in a beautiful meditative state and I didn't have anybody specific to dial up, to call in. So I decided, I said, all right, I'm going to go back. I'm going to break my new rule and I'm going to just open the door and see who comes in. So this morning I just said, Dear Spirit, please tell me what it is I need to know this day. Okay. Didn't know who was there. What I heard was, dearest being of light, as so much on your world seems so topsy-turvy, be not concerned, for it is all simply playing out as scripted. Moment by moment, so much of the systems and protocols that have worked in the past to keep humanity in line are now falling apart falling away as something greater unfolds. In this time of shift, great are the forces that would like nothing to change, for it has worked for so long, millennia. But now it is time to explore that opportunity, another paradigm, an earthly experience like no other. You and all have heard so much about new beginnings and new opportunity for balance and love to take hold, thus leaving the greed and avarice behind. So as the new earth begins to unfold, there will be many more opportunities to choose love over fear, and a golden opportunity to drop all karma and live a life of peace and serenity without all the nonsense of the past. Incarnation after incarnation, the human has struggled to find peace, find balance, and find love. Well, that struggle is no more, as the dawning of a new age is upon us, one and all. With each new cycle brings new opportunities to expand, to grow, and to recognize the inherent divinity that animates each and every soul here on planet Earth and beyond. So when it comes to expansion, there are no limits. Each unique soul has the opportunity once more to return to oneness and accept the truth of your timeless soul, simply out having one experience after another. Separating and recoalescing, but never truly recognizing that source light energy with each visit. But now it is time for the reveal, the truth of your being, the truth of your existence, as all the walls of illusion dissolve, and what is left is only love. Love of experiences, love of one another, and the desire to continue on in a new and different way, where no one is left out in the cold. Gaia, this planet, has all that was ever needed to support life on Earth with abundance for all. So as things continue to shift and change, expect that humanity will continue to thrive and grow like never before, with everyone included. And those who choose to struggle can have their way. But for the majority, free will always provide levels of experience not known in past incarnations, as the crystalline continues to take shape and the old and worn out systems of power over versus power under dissolve before you. As the Master Jesus once said, heaven on earth is upon you, and now it is time to embrace that truth and live a life of harmony and understanding of all sentient beings in conjunction with Prime Creator. There is no separation, but only a forgetting of your origins. You are born of the stars, and you come to Earth simply for the experience of living life in form. So enjoy all that the experience provides, knowing that it never has to end, as all souls are timeless and all life is divine. These are my words to ponder this day, as more and more begin their journey of self and begin to recognize all that has been forgotten. Your life, your life has every opportunity to reunite with your higher self and lift out of this matrix of belief that has so many still stuck in the past and expand into the heaven on earth so long ago promised by so many who were sent to assist humanity over the eons. This is your opportunity. This is your truth. So choose wisely and love completely. Farewell, dear ones. Alcazar.
Beautiful.
So, like I said, I didn't know who that was from until I got to the end, and then I kind of picked up on the vibe of Alcazar. But because
So, would you describe Alcazar to us? What would you say?
Alcazar, I don't know what dimension he's from. He's not very specific. Pleiadian in nature, Pleiadian Arcturian. That's kind of the blend that I get.
Okay.
I don't have
Your
an imagery in
camera's
my head. I couldn't.
your camera's doing weird things. It's zooming you
My
in and
camera.
out. It's changing your
You know,
voice.
I'm gonna switch to the other. new camera that I bought to try and make things better, but let's go to the old camera.
Okay.
There we go. How's that one?
Okay.
That's the non-ring light camera. So, but there's a lot in this message, a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that our opening conversation was talking about some things that actually were touched upon in this message. And as you were discussing them, I'm like, boy, it's funny that, you know, there's no such thing as coincidence that what we're talking about is actually something that came in. We were talking about light and dark and the devil, right? In our conversation, and Lucifer. And Lucifer. And you talked about 3%. If we get 3% of the collective, that's enough to push us over the top.
3% of people thinking for themselves rather than focusing on the past, on fear, on regret, on shame, on guilt. It's literally like I call it people who drive and try to steer with their hands on the rearview mirror instead of putting their hands on the steering wheel and going where they want to go. I
Right.
asked a client today, "What do you want?" And she said, "I want to feel less anxiety." And that just meant she was still going to feel anxiety. She just wanted to feel less of it rather than saying, I want to focus on happiness. I want to focus on joy, satisfaction, which is a whole different arena. Whole different
Yes.
arena.
Matiku, to go back to your question that's in chat, Alcazar, yes, is the bringer of the Stargate. He represents I don't know, a group. His channelings always include the Stargate. If there's other people that bring him in, there's a man named Prageet that I mentioned last week, and he does a big meditation with regard to the Stargate. When they travel around the world, they take this big copper Stargate, similar to that pyramid that you used to have, Lynn, but this is much more
I
involved.
still have it. It's on the floor of the garage.
Yeah.
But yes.
This Stargate has probably about 80 pieces to it. It's not as simple as the ones that James was building originally. So Tash, yes, that Stargate, you can buy them. I know they sell them online through the Stargate Academy, which is part of Alcazar, the man for Geet who channels Alcazar. Again, a whole side topic. I don't mean to go off on a tangent like that. But yes, you were right. What I want to do is unpack this message a little bit, if that's okay, Lynn.
Yeah, of course.
And one of the important things, I think the first thing that was touched on was the fact that in the new earth, in the age of Aquarius, as we move out of this Piscean age and into the new, we have the opportunity to drop the karma. That no longer karma is not part of the requirement in the new earth, in the new game, in the new experience. But free will still exist. Free will does not change on the earth plane. I guess that's part of our base software is free will. So you will still have that opportunity. What I garner from the message is that I don't think that free will have such an overwhelming effect on the entire collective like it does currently. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be more limited to your bad choices are going to limit you and your bad choices. And I don't think it's one Jenga block is going to take everything down. That's my take on it, based on the messages I receive and my own thought process with it. So it's nice to know that we can drop the karma. We've heard that a lot, right? Drop your karma. Last week, Saint Germain stepped in, and in the past, he said to us, "You can put violet on the karma. You can take all that karma. You can go into your Akash. You can take all those records that don't serve you and transmute them with violet." So I guess all of those things in total are what help us to move into the new paradigm with no baggage, right? So many messages say we need to leave all the baggage behind. You're going empty-handed. Everything is prepared. There's new clothes. Everything you need is there. Shaving kit. Everything is going to be there when you get there. You're coming in naked, or at least empty-handed. That's kind of the gist I get from Lynn, the messages that she channels, so many others, and the ones that I bring in as well. It's like free and clear when we got there. I'm told a lot of the time to like, wait, hold the door. We got to wait for everybody else. We got to stay here. We can't just go. We can't move on. Everybody, we're as a collective. So we're here to wait and help everybody else come, take as many people with us as possible into the new age. I don't know. What's your take on that, Lynn?
We manifest everything from the thoughts that we have within our minds. If we can become really cognizant of the places where we bring doubt and we bring fear and we bring guilt and we bring shame and all this bevy of emotions that we've kind of stored up inside of us. Lady Nada was talking about this today. If we can just have faith, focus upon what it is that we want and have faith that it will manifest, then we can let go of all of the places where we bring so much pain and suffering to our lives and then to the lives of others. When you're saying that, like, one person will think and it won't affect another, it's just going to be for one person, I don't quite agree with that. And here's why.
Okay.
We're tapping into the Akashic Records, which is the universal storehouse of all memories. And there is one universal mind that is the overarching dominant mind that the records are kept in. So when one of us is having an experience over here, it's like leaves on a tree. It isn't just that the one leaf is doing its own leaf thing on the tree. It's still connected to the tree. I saw this beautiful thing. There was this tree that was cut down, and one of its branches, another tree had reached out and was keeping the tree alive. My mother has unfortunately cut some trees down on this property, and the other trees are still feeding that tree through that mycelial network. We're all connected to each other. So it isn't just that one person can be like, Om Namah Shivaya, I am God, I am a Christed being. And then there's the other person who's robbing the local liquor store. Like, they're both sharing with each other.
I understand that in oneness, yeah, we're all inextricably linked.
But
But even
it's not just in oneness. Like here, if I have an interaction with you that's negative, you take that energy into the next interaction. If I have an interaction with you that's positive, if you take that energy into the next interaction. So we are all affecting each other. We are all connected. So if, I know that when I work with a client, the client does a healing, I literally feel the impact of that. I feel the way that that's opened because it goes out to everybody. It's like the ripple of the pond, put the stone in the pond and the wave goes out. So I don't know that the only part that rubs me a little the wrong way is this idea that, like, any one of us is an island. We're all impacting and connecting and affecting each other. And when one person has faith, they can then lend that to another. On days, if I'm feeling down, I mean, there are days when you've talked to me and I'm just hot chocolate mess, and the conversation with you and I feel so much better, I mean, we get to do that for the people that we love. We get to impact them one way or the other. I think if we all become really cognizant of how it is that we are relating to each other, and it has to start with self-love. It has to start with this place where I go, you know what? Today's going to be a great day. I'm going to make this a great day. I'm going to focus on what it is that I want. That's going to get on other people. I have a student right now, and she's been doing this incredible vision work of going to her round table, which is a technique that I teach people to do to talk with their spiritual guidance. And she's been having these incredible visions of her times in Atlantis. And she said she's been noticing that people are really treating her differently because she's feeling differently and she's allowing these memories to come. And that's what these journeys into the Akashic Records do. It makes you feel so much bigger than just this one little aspect of you that thinks that you're not capable, you can't, or, your teacher told you that you were stupid, or your mother, shamed you into something, and like, you live with that. We gotta go in and do our work, have faith in ourselves, have faith in life, have faith in love. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things that's going to make the biggest difference on this planet. Just shifting from 2% to 3%. Like, that's all that's needed is one more percent. And the jig is up. The game is over.
Don't feel I had enough faith.
If you don't feel that you have enough faith within you, reach out and ask for an extra portion. Please, Sir Man.
That's right. That's so true, Tess. Absolutely.
All they want us to do is ask for help.
Yes.
They're like,
That
don't
is,
try and do this on your own.
it's a
Do not.
constant reminder in so many of the messages. Just ask, just ask, just ask for help. And they're
I
there.
say that all the time. And we're busy trying to do it on our own all the time. And it's like, no. Ask for help. Ask and it is given. What is that? The Abraham Hicks. Ask and it is given. There's a beautiful book.
I have a
There's
question.
a beautiful book.
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead. Ask.
Never.
My question is, and I think I brought it up to you the other day, Lynn. So I know we're all one, but then what do you do with that individual that just wants to keep bringing up negative stuff or stuff from the past, and you try to be positive, and you're trying to send her love, and you're trying to do all that?
What did I tell? I told you the other day.
And you said, let it go, and you just tell her, I can't.
You say to this person, I have told you on countless times that I'm no longer willing to engage your gossiping and your complaining.
Right.
It's just like the energy literally will drain you.
I know.
You have to look within yourself at why you have an investment in keeping that person around.
I know, but
Why
I
do
guess
you
I'm going back to what you were just talking about, as we are all one and we're trying to bring other people along.
Well, that's where the opportunity comes in if you so choose to take it. And you can explain to that person that the more they continue to bring up the past, the more they will live in the past. They will never be able to live in the now. Eckhart Tolle, right? The king of living now. What did he tell us when people say that? His advice was, when they go on and on, you just, well, your response is to be, is that so? And they go on and on and on again, and you just say, is that so? And that's the only response you're supposed to have to that constant regurgitation. Is that so? And eventually they're going to get sick and tired of regurgitating it, because no one's taking it from them. No one's removing that energy from them, and it's defeating them. When someone does that, they're looking to dump it off on you so they can make more space in them to do something else, to go back out and live their life. The energy feeder. You've heard the term energy feeder?
Yeah.
Someone calls you up every day to tell you their tale of woe. And by the time the conversation's all over, you've given them all these different reasons to be happy and to be, and to pull themselves up and do all the right thing. And you hang up the phone and they might go off and have a great day. And you're miserable now because they just dumped all their shit on you. So you have to be able to say, is that so? Don't accept it. Don't take it. It's not yours. It's theirs. They want to continue to play in that, that cesspool, then that's it. That's their thing, You have to be able, in this spiritual journey, a lot of times we're told you're going to lose people. People are going to go out of your life. You're no longer, there are people that you talk to that you're not going to talk to, maybe for the rest of your life, or maybe just for a while, until you can re-expand your energy and reestablish your zone of safety and your space, which in
so
turn,
even though we're all one, it doesn't mean everybody.
well, we're all here to have an experience, of course.
So look, there's everything is magnetic. There is some part of you that magnetizes her into your life. So the very first thing to do is to look within at what are you complaining about in your life?
Well, she's just a relative, is what it is. I feel like I'm obligated to.
Right. So you have to heal that obligation, that people pleasing. She's a family member. But also, you have to, this is what Jesus is saying, you have to take a look at the part of you that has something that you're complaining about. There was a person that was in my life, and I complained and griped about him all the time. And Jesus came to me and he said, you have to look into his eyes and see me looking back. You have to look into his heart and feel my heart in there. And when I was able to see Jesus in him, the person disappeared from my life. Can you look within her, Deborah, and
Yeah.
see looking back?
Yeah.
And sometimes people just need to hear someone go, God, what jerks. Like sometimes you just need to duplicate them. They were horrible to you. And they just need to feel witnessed or seen. And the more that you're growing, the more light that you have, more people will come to you to be witnessed. Can I get a witness? Like sometimes we just want someone to see us. We just want someone, we want to feel heard, we want to feel seen, we want to feel known.
Yeah.
So it's all parts of that.
Okay.
Or go to your round table and ask, what is she trying to teach me? Because everybody is the voice of God. Everybody is a lesson.
Yes.
Go to your round table and ask, bring her higher self in and have a conversation with her and say, what is it that you want me to know? How is it that I can help you? How can I be of service to you?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mama. Anybody else have any questions? I'm going to bring Lady Nada forth. She's got something she wants to say. And you guys are welcome to ask her questions.
And last week when we just mentioned Saint Germain and the Great White Brotherhood, or the Brotherhood and Sisterhood of Man, Lady Nada, Sister Nada, is part of that group. She is part of this Aquarian Age posse that's here to help us move into this new age. So it's interesting, Lynn, that you're bringing her in.
Lady Nada. Ladies and gentlemen, Lady Nada. I yawn as I transition and shift through frequencies, so that's part of the yawning part. Greetings, beloved ones.
Greetings.
It is our joy to be with you. Beloveds, energetically, you have been called forth to be with us in our presence, for there are vibrations, frequencies that we emit to you, that we deliver to you through these transactions. Each of you are now being asked to look within to the places that you avoid, the conversations you do not wish to have, the darkness that you turn your head from. We ask you to begin to face your fears. There is a statement that this beloved channel loves to make, which is that fear is an acronym, which stands for false evidence appearing real. She obviously did not create this acronym, but she certainly loves to use it. Understand, beloveds, that that which you say that you fear has no power over you, lest the power that you give it by focusing upon it, it will come and grip you. This is indeed where Lucifer has done his job exceedingly well. You have fear of manifesting into the future what you have not been able to ameliorate from the past. We invite you, beloveds, to turn and face the darkness, to turn and face the shadow, to say, yes, I am willing to look. Yes, I am willing to feel. Yes, I am willing to hear. Yes, I am willing to know. Show me what it is that I may fear so that I may learn to love it, so that I may learn to embrace it, so that it no longer has power over me. And you will find, beloved, there are nothing but shadows. You will find such power, for in this, you have allowed your light to absorb the darkness that is there. Bring your breath, bring your guidance. And beloveds, if you are afraid to do this upon your own, call upon us and allow us to journey with you. Allow us to come on this most ambitious experiment. Know that you have such tremendous guidance that is there with you, that is there for you always. You need not walk this alone. We can be the light that helps you to bring peace to all of the places inside of you. Each of you have something that you fear more than anything else, that you feel that you would die if anyone found out. Well, beloved, here's the good news. We already know. You need not worry about someone finding out. We found out. We saw. You can release the guilt. You can release the shame. You can release the humiliation and the embarrassment. It is already known. What there is now for you to do is to forgive yourself. And in that forgiveness, you will find such tremendous light, such tremendous relief. There's nothing that is not known. And there is only for you to make peace with it. So make peace with all the disparate parts of you, the ones you have tried to hide, and allow the freedom to come to you, the freedom to know that there is nothing that cannot be said, nothing that cannot be felt, nothing that cannot be seen, nothing that cannot be heard, beloveds. You will find yourself opening to the great wisdom that lives within you when you can allow yourself to stop closing the doors, pulling down the curtains, and attempting to hide. There's nothing that is hidden, beloveds. Test us out. You will find that these words are true. Beloveds, may we answer any questions for you? Are there any queries that you have?
Anyone have anything?
I can ask.
Please, Tess, go ahead.
Beloved, love and peace, Lady Nada.
Greetings, beloved one.
I love you so much. And I was feeling in my awareness, Lady Nada, always when I take shower. And I'm grateful for that. If there is any message for me, thank you.
Beloved, the water is a great conductor. It allows you to wash away energy that has tainted you. Beloved, we would ask you to have more faith in yourself. You have a tendency to speak of the past and to focus upon the past and to hold shame and regret and to feel that things are unfair. There is nothing that is unfair in the universe, beloved. Everything that was meant to happen to you has happened, and everything that is meant to happen for you will happen. Have faith in yourself. Know that no mistakes have been made. Everything is in divine, perfect order. This is true for all of you. We thank you for your attention. Know that we are on this journey with you in service to all of humanity. And it is our great delight to have you come forth to communicate with us. Love and blessings to you, beloved, and we shall continue to communicate. We thank you for your query.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Anyone else?
Yes, Lady Nada, can you tell us, because we're going through such a transition with the medical industry, are we going to have med beds that they talk about? Is it actually happening? The technology of med beds?
Beloveds, there is crystalline technology that is making its resurrection. This is technology that was used in the civilization that was known as Atlantis upon your lands, and they will be far superior to anything else that has been used. You are connected to one of the beings who was masterful in the use of this technology, and she is in a process of allowing this wisdom to be reactivated within her. She will need many people to practice upon, and she will promise to put you at the top of the list. And those that you love, those
Thank
who are
you.
in need. Indeed, indeed. Beloveds, there is much that exists within you that you have allowed yourselves to forget. If you will state a willingness to remember, you will be astounded at what will come for you and to you and through you.
Lady Nada, I have a question.
Yes, beloved.
If Saint Germain, is the representative, the Chohan of the violet ray, and he's promoting the use of the violet to transmute everything. How come? Well, I know I have never heard you utilize that or recommend us utilizing that technology when channeled through other people. Why is that?
Because he does a sufficient job.
Okay.
I have a different ray. I have a different energy that is used. It is what would appear as pink, shall we say. There is a different frequency that is brought through with the ray that I govern, beloved. I do not do my neighbor's bidding.
Okay, I got you.
Do we support each other? Of course we do, but understand, beloved, that each of us are different aspects of the rainbow. It is not that we do not know the efficacy of the use of this, and of course we support this, but we have our own mission and our own purpose, and he does very well for himself, shall we say.
Thank you. That's a straight up answer. Okay. I have one more question. When you were
Yes.
talking, you brought up crystalline and moving into the new, are there any recommendations for people for crystals? Should you be sleeping with them in your bed? Carry there certain crystals should you carry, or is it really up to each individual to just take what resonates with them?
Do not sleep with the crystal of selenite within your room, for it will cause an interference with the journey as you make your ascension to do your evening reviews. There are certain crystals that are cleansed through sunlight. There are certain crystals that are cleansed through moonlight. There are certain crystals that wish to go back into Gaia for charging. Speak with the crystals, beloved, and they will reveal that information to you. There is also one volume at the Book of Stones that carries much accurate information as well. If you have a connection with a crystal, understand that rose quartz, as well as rhodochrosite, were imbued with the beloved light of Yeshua as one of our beloveds, and carries the pink hue of which we are Chohan, as they say. This is a stone that may be carried with you always to continue to open the heart, and understand that the opening of the heart is the focal point of the clearing of the three lower energy centers that would be the solar plexus, the sacral, and the root. As those are unlocked, they become keys to then open the third eye, the crown, and the throat. As these marry and open with lock and key, it allows the heart to remain open. This precious pink stone of rose quartz is most popular, and yet rhodochrosite carries both the red and the green energy, which is the balance of giving love and receiving love. So investigate this stone as well.
Thank you. Very enlightening. Thank you.
Indeed.
I have a
one
question.
Mary, please.
Yeah, I just wondering, circling back to water, ocean dreams, shoreline, ocean, being in the ocean. What type of experience in the dream world is that what type of messaging is that trying to suggest or invite?
Specifically for you, beloved one, It is asking for you to reconcile the experiences that you had within the land that is known as Atlantis. Particularly pay attention to relationships with what would be the sea creatures, the dolphins, the whales, manta rays, and your ability to communicate to them through your psi abilities.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
Indeed.
I have one question, Lady Nada.
Yes, beloved one.
If you can work on me, on my chakras to open, to communicate more with you, that would be lovely.
Beloved, that is not our responsibility. That is your responsibility.
Or how to do it.
Your responsibility is to work upon your own chakras. There are countless books. There are countless classes. There is research that is to be done upon your computers for how to do this work. You have our blessings and you have our love, but it is not our job to do your journey. Beloveds, we thank you for your queries. We thank you for your love. You have ours as well. And indeed, we shall speak with you again.
Thank you.
And salutations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hmm. Oh, wow, it's 8 o'clock. Thank you all so much for being here.
Lynn, I have one question.
I'm sorry, Tess. What was that?
I was asked Lynn, how this happened is amazing. Lady Nada was coming when I was taking a shower, and then this happened. So I'm just grateful for this moment. Thank you.
What happened?
When I was taking shower every morning, Lady Nada name come to my awareness, and your messaging today and the channeling to able to communicate with her today is so amazing. So I'm grateful for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Lynn,
Rob.
I'll post today's message on the Soma Life page. Is that where it's gonna go? So you can read it, reread it? Everybody
Thank
can-
you. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you, Lynn.
Very
Thank
welcome.
you so much, everyone.
We'll see you
And
next week.
Yeah, I just want to let you know in advance, on the 26th of the month, I'm going to be traveling to Europe, and we're going to have a guest. Her name is Wendy Gale. She's a very dear friend, a friend of mine for almost 40 years. She's actually the woman that trained me to channel and trained Rob to channel. And she's going to come and co-host with Rob for that day. I'll be at the airport. I may drop on for a minute to say a quick hello, but you're in for a really big treat. She's an extraordinary woman. She has trained over 1,000 people to channel. She's been channeling for 35 years, and she channels some of the most extraordinary beings that you will ever have the opportunity to meet. So that's exciting. That's coming in 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right, my
Metatron
darlings.
is the primary. And we'll
Yeah,
see everyone
Metatron
next
and what Mother Maya is a force to be reckoned with. You got to go listen to her.
week. Okay.
Incredible. I'm going to text one that was private today, but incredible. All right, everyone. Blessings.
Thank you
Love,
all.
peace.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
It was great
Thank
to
you,
see
Rob.
We'll see you next week.